All right, everybody, welcome back. We'll start by answering our trivia question from yesterday. As a reminder, the question was, what does the 19 in COVID-19 stand for? And the correct answer is the year 2019, because that is when the virus was first discovered, so they named it COVID-19. Thank you, Coach Z. Thank you for everybody who answered correctly. I appreciate it. You will get a signed Brian Cochran autographed shoelace of some sort. All right. Now we're going to go right into chapter 2 of part 2, which is called Get Moving. And the chapter starts by talking about Amelia Earhart, who was the first female pilot to ever travel across the Atlantic. And it begins by talking about her start. And the very first time she was offered any type of position, it was an absurd circumstance. She was going to get the opportunity to fly, but she would have 2 males accompanying her. They would pay them, but they wouldn't pay her, and they would get all the credit for it. She would just pretty much be there. And most people, given those circumstances, probably wouldn't have been able to check their ego and would have turned it down. But that's not what she did. She said yes, because she understood if she was going to defy any odds and accomplish what it is that she wanted to set out for, that she needed to start somewhere. She needed to get a start, and that's what she looked at that as. She looked at as an opportunity to get in the door, to get into the field, and then truly show what she's capable of. And it was less than 5 years later that she was traveling on a solo trip across the Atlantic, the first female to ever do so. So she was setting that trend, and she needed to start somewhere. So that's why she knew that by taking action, by getting moving, she'd be able to do so. And that's the one thing, like when in that type of situation, and some of us come up to situations similar to that, and a lot of times if it's not in our best interests or it doesn't favor what we perceive to be the right outcome, we start to feel bad for ourselves and we make excuses not to do it. But in reality, that's whenever we need to take action. So we need to get moving, and we got to stay moving. That's the biggest part about it, being persistent with it, because that's the only way that change will happen. In order to get where we want to go, it takes action. It takes us overcoming an obstacle through action in order to get to that destination. And whenever we fail to take action, a lot of times it's because we're complacent and we have a million excuses that will go through our head in order to give us a cop-out as to not do something. And really, we just need to find that one that allows us to do it. Because whenever we do make those excuses and we find ways not to do something, realistically, we're softening ourselves, we're regressing our aggression, and those are things that we can't have if we ultimately want to achieve what it is that we feel that we're capable of. And that goes to the mindset of like attacking these problems head on. Like every obstacle that we see, we need to be able to attack it head on. And they say the ones that can attack obstacles with energy and initiative, you usually win those circumstances. You usually win versus those obstacles. History will prove that to be accurate. And the big thing that you need, and we mentioned this in the preface of this part, was courage. Courage is a big part of taking action. And at the basic level of it, when we take action, that's an initial display of courage, because we're doing what others won't. Therefore, we're courageous in our actions. All right, we'll have another question for you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll pick up then. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.